Hey there, Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley here in the WVLT First Alert newsroom here at this point, since we are keeping an eye on everything you need to know about this next First Alert weather day. I know it's been an active week. We've had some big ups and downs. We're not done yet. That final wave, that snowfall we've been talking about, that's still on track. And the reason I stress that we've been talking about it for a week is important, because forecast consistency is confidence. Right? If we're telling you a week plus out, hey, there could be some snow on that Saturday the 12th. Had to think about my dates there for a second. Then just know that the more we're saying that each day growing First Alert 8-day planner, it's on there. That's important, because that's all just helping to reinforce what we're watching. I'm pulling up the WVLT Facebook page right now, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Most of your questions actually will probably be answered by this customized, kind of lengthy, detailed forecast that we're going to dive into here. So I may just say, hold on 1 minute, I got you covered. If you're asking about your town, your county, I can promise you right now, hold on, I got you covered. Got a lot for you coming up here. So let's dive into what is going on. Again, a First Alert weather day for Saturday. Keep in mind there's a couple of different layers here. Number one, heavy snowfall. Number two, widespread freeze. Yes, widespread freeze. Number three, we've got wind chills that are really part of our afternoon, especially just feeling even colder. And I'm sorry, but there's number four. Really, we just got to make sure we're keeping an eye on the fact that we'll drop to the teens on Saturday night. That's important, because that'll be kind of the deepest cold air settling in as the weather then settles down. So kind of a mix of pros and cons there. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. Somebody's already asking, what about Lenore City? Promise you, I've got you covered. Don't have to worry about asking about your county or town. I am going to cover our entire 30-plus county coverage area here for y'all. I got custom forecasts that I have been deep diving on since we got on WVLT News on the CW. So big picture, let's compare, contrast, right? Today versus tomorrow. Because a lot of folks like to say, oh, but it's too warm for it to snow, or it's too warm for it to stick. Not necessarily. So just keep that in mind. That's what I'm talking about here today with that First Alert weather day for Saturday. This is some very cold air that's digging south for your Saturday. But notice those winds even pick up harder. See these bright white lines became a lot more active on Saturday afternoon. So that's why the fact that it's going to be freezing, it's going to feel even colder. Mary, you're asking, when is Maryville going to get snow? I've got you covered here in a moment, guys. Asking about your specific towns, got you covered. Randall asking, is TDOT salted highways yet? Yes, we had that on WVLT News as well. They said that they have salted all of their routes and they're ready to then roll and kind of go back out as needed for Saturday. I saw them out treating yesterday myself, so I can definitely vouch. I saw that brine down. Thank you to all the road crews who are out helping us all out to keep us safe ahead of this First Alert weather day. Literally can't do it without you, because this is some heavy snowfall coming in. That's important. Sue's saying it's winter time. We're at that transition in our. If you're new around here, I always like to joke. People say, when's the last snow? Honestly, I've seen it snow here on Easter. I've seen it hot here on Easter. Average last freeze is April 1st. Average last frost is April 14th. So it is common to go from big ups to big downs in March to April in East Tennessee, and sometimes even May. I've seen it. All right, so that's why it's important to keep up with it and know that just because it's warm one day or even warm 1 week doesn't mean it can't snow the next, or doesn't mean it can't stick the next. It just means what starts falling at first isn't sticking at first. We got to have the right amount of moisture and cold air to overtake it. That's why we've been so focused on this First Alert weather day for Saturday. All right, so folks still asking about your town. I got you covered. If you're just joining us, I'm going to break down every single county and town. I'm not ignoring you. So here's kind of a bigger picture of snowfall impact. It is heavier plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line. You can see some brighter pink bands there. It is heaviest in the Smokies. And since if you think that the days lately that have been 70s in the valley, it was 50s at the tops of the Smokies at the warmest. So the ground there is just naturally cooler. So yes, heaviest snowfall, longer snowfall, heaviest snow accumulations. Absolutely. Easy confidence on that one. But then this is kind of a choppy, moderate to some heavier snowfall in the Southern Valley to Central Valley to far northeast Tennessee. So we're going to deep dive into what this all means per county here, guys. I got you covered. So this is really when we look at these alerts. If you have that WVLT First Alert weather app, you got a notification as to which one of these you are in. Yesterday, the National Weather Service sent out winter storm watches. That means watch out. We're keeping an eye out on a system on the way. The winter storm warnings were then the step up for most of our area. I'm going to name off these counties just in case you're not sure where you're at on this map. That is The plateau that includes Wayne, Fentress, and Cumberland counties. Coming off the plateau, Roane, Morgan, Scott to McCreary. Down into the southern and central valley, that is McMinn, Meigs, Ray, Bledsoe, Monroe, Loudoun, Knox, Blount counties, Anderson County, Union, into Jefferson, Granger, and Hamblin counties. At the Tennessee-Kentucky line, that includes Campbell to Claiborne, into Whitley, McCreary, Bell, and Harlan counties in Kentucky, included in this wintry weather system, the winter storm warning. Going up into the mountains, that is the higher elevations of Monroe, Sevier, Cott County, and then the mountain tops of Greene County. Notice that purple section far north and east, that is Lee County, Hancock, Hawkins, and Greene, included in the winter weather advisory. Yes, I have our entire area memorized. I can spot you a mile away, so I've got you covered for you asking about your town, your county. So let's deep dive into this. This is a strong cold front, so this is a change over from rain to snow across our area tonight. That is heavy snowfall in the morning. That is very cold air area wide, but the coverage does taper off. So keep in mind, it's not snowing all day. It is cold all day, and the heaviest snow is first thing in the morning. So to kind of summarize this first alert weather day, overnight that rain changes over to some mixing, which is where you get kind of the rain and big wet snowflakes and some sleet in there too. Then it changes over to that heavy snowfall first thing in the morning, widespread, spotty by the afternoon. But again, what's widespread are those wind chills. Everybody's freezing, feeling like teens to 20s, and then more. It really is falling than sticking, but I do think some of us easily can get some choppy variations as to how much is sitting on the grass versus my driveway versus your driveway versus a back road versus a main road, which of course is where those road crews are treating. Thank you again to the road crews out there taking care of us. Again, somebody else is asking about your town. I got you covered here. We're deep diving into this. I promise. I've got every single county in our area covered. So here we go with the big picture, what's happening now. There's that line of snow cutting across Oklahoma, Arkansas, St. Louis. Yep, nope, it's headed our way. There's that Arctic air behind it. I mean, look at that stark difference where we have that really cold air right at the edge of West Tennessee, the snow approaching, and then we've got that Arctic air digging south across the western half of the U.S. All it's going to do is keep sliding east into our area in your first alert forecast. So as we move forward with the next few hours, that line of snow is moving into West Tennessee and western Kentucky. I wanted to show this because it's important. A lot of you may be traveling. This kicks off spring break for a lot of local schools. So if you're looking beyond East Tennessee, our first alert weather app will travel with you as well. So you can go ahead and add the town you're traveling to, because notice this is a story to our west and northwest first, and then it heads our way. There's rain moving up along the south and east, and then the heavy snow moves into our area tonight. Notice that heavy rain to sleet to heaviest snow, that bright purple there. That is what kicks off our day with our first alert weather day. Widespread in the morning and widespread wind chills in the afternoon, and teens by Saturday night wraps up our first alert for Sunday morning. So very, very cold air moves in. Again, I'm going to keep kind of giving you these summaries just so people who are asking the same questions, I got you covered here. Widespread heavy snow at first, wind chills gust up to 30 miles per hour, drops to teens by Sunday morning. So in the meantime, we're transitioning over from clouds and a few showers here at home. I just showed you the regional view, so now let's focus at the timeline here at home. Jennifer, you're asking what time will it hit Rutledge? This is for you guys, asking what time. Here you go. So this is the timeline of some spotty rain popping up this evening and becoming more widespread by 10 to 11 of rain. The cold air is still approaching, so that's why you see all of a sudden the pinks and the purple start sliding in on the plateau. That's why your winter storm warnings start at midnight as this continues to advance in east, spreading out. 2-3 a.m. Notice we've got some heavy bands of snowfall. This will be when temperatures are still dropping, even in the upper 30s, so it's changing over to that heavy, wet snow, and it's trying to cool those surfaces. So really important to kind of keep that in mind as we are tracking this for you here on into your Saturday. Now here's a quick look at the 6 a.m. hour. Notice we're just now getting close to sunrise, and now we've got widespread snow in our area. Moderate to some heavy snowfall. That's where you see all these different shades of purple. This is moderate heavy snow on our legend there, right there at the top of your screen. From one side of our area to the other. I'm paused at this time frame for a reason. For those of you asking how much accumulation, I'm doing the timeline now. I've got accumulation here in a moment for everyone in our area. Don't worry, I promise I'm going to answer your questions. So I wanted to show you where at midnight we'll have your official high on Saturday, 48. Dropping through those 30s while you're sleeping. That's why you get that change over to the heavy wet snow. Then even a drier, lighter snow when we're in the 20s Saturday morning. drier and lighter means that, yes, it doesn't weigh down tree limbs and power lines the same way, but it also can pile up easier. It doesn't pack itself down. And then a small rebound at best, 32 in the afternoon, will feel even colder. So here's that look at that transition point that I was just talking about with that snowfall. As we go into tonight, widespread, we drop to 27. We go into your day tomorrow, we've got that widespread snowfall. It's 27 degrees. So now let's walk through that timeline for the rest of your Saturday. Moderate to heavy snow still pretty much area wide. Notice we have a little bit of the lighter snow. See how it turns white on the plateau. That's where this is kind of tightening up on that time frame here a bit. 8, 9 a.m. starts becoming more scattered light to moderate snow showers because it's drier and lighter in weight as well. From the plateau to the Central Valley, still some moderate to heavier snowfall, foothills to mountains, and that's where this snow can start really just adding up at this point, especially on into the Smokies where it just keeps on snowing, and then the rest of us are just feeling the cold winds and the clouds and some flurries are flying. Meanwhile, it's still snowing in the Smokies. Absolutely. So I was explaining that dry versus wet snow. Here's the difference. When we're even at and above freezing, we can get a snow to liquid ratio that's 5 to 1 or 10 to 1. That means 1 inch of rain can equal 5 to 10 inches of snow. Well, when it gets colder, like the 20s and even lower than that, well, that can actually make it lighter, meaning it piles up bigger. So your snow to liquid ratio is actually more like 20 to 1. So I know that's kind of a little bit of a deep dive into the weather world, but that's why we reference wet snow versus a drier, lighter snow. That's actually important and how much can add up in your neck of the woods. So that's why some of these snow potentials are impressive. So let's dive into where you live. Everybody asking about your town, your county. This is your map. So take a minute to find your town on this map, your county. I'm going to zoom in so you can see some of the big variations and some moderate to heavier snowfall. Again, a lot of this is snowfall. This does not mean you're going to find all of this on the ground, but it does mean all of this can make it hard to see, especially Saturday morning. We have about 3 inches moving up through the Central Valley, parts of Roane County to Knox County to Loudoun and McMinn and Monroe varying greatly. Go up into the mountains, Tellico Plains up above, Smokies, Blount County, Sevier County. Obviously, you can see that tight band of pink there. That's 7+ inches. I would not be surprised that Mount LaCotte reports a foot of snow, and they can actually get it all on the ground versus the valley that's going to lose some of this. But it's important to note this can make it hard to see, and it can make it kind of cool rapidly on some back roads especially. And that's what can give us some varying conditions around our area. Notice on the plateau, the snow forecast where you live, good 3 to 4 inches here, a little choppy. Jumps up. We're still seeing this trend that it wants to kind of get a little spiked up between parts of Morton to Scott to Campbell to North Anderson to Union and Claiborne. And then notice that drives up through Bell to Harlan. That's been a pretty good trend too, which is important to note. So I'm definitely seeing some higher snowfall potential there. And then when you go up some of those hills and mountains that naturally run cooler, that's where you could actually accumulate more versus downhill in some of the lower spots. Speaking of lower spots, far northeast Tennessee, they have you in the winter weather advisory here, but I'm still seeing you around 2.5 to 3 inches of snowfall potential from that Central Valley, Knoxville to far northeast Tennessee. And then, of course, you can see that impressive snowfall going up into the mountains. So mountaintops, like I said, collect it all, easily can get a foot. A lot of us are seeing some very heavy snow falling, and that's what can cause visibility issues. But because we do have some warmer surfaces and varying surface temperatures, from my driveway to yours, from my yard to yours, back roads to main roads, that's what affects accumulations. Now, ice is actually a concern going into Saturday night, so just keep that in mind. Yes, there's some big ups and downs here. Here's kind of a good summary map where we can lose some of that snowfall in the southern and central valley, and then it's a little choppy to far northeast Tennessee, and then a little better potential where it runs a little cooler in spots from the plateau to the Tennessee-Kentucky line, and then up in the Smokies. But all in all, we really do feel cold area-wide. Feels like teens to 20s in the morning. Winds increase. Yes, even if temperatures go up a couple of degrees, winds increase, so it can feel colder Saturday afternoon. Like 12 Crossville, 11 Middlesboro, 18 Knoxville, 20 Athens to 16 Dandridge. Even feeling like it's already 8 in Hartford, and that's because of those winds. So wind chill is a huge part of our first alert weather day going into your Saturday. We're stuck at freezing. It feels colder. That's why it's a first alert weather day. We do have teens in the morning for Sunday, so we'll be monitoring that potential for ice on the roads Sunday morning. Just so you know, that's one more thing to keep in mind as we do wrap up that first alert weather day. So again, to recap, because I know a lot of you are asking about your town, your county. If you missed it, I just walked through the timeline, walked through all the different layers as to why we have a first alert weather day. I'm looking at your questions here. And then I also did a close look at every county in our coverage area in terms of how much snow falls in our area. If you don't have to be out on the roads on Saturday, I wouldn't. That also helps those that do have to be out on the roads. So just something to keep in mind with our First Alert Weather Day on Saturday. If you are looking to keep up with the latest in between newscasts, we also keep you updated on WVLT.tv. But I want to point out that you can also get the latest right here, yes, but in our WVLT First Alert Weather app. We'll actually send you messages. For example, the people who got the winter storm warning versus the winter weather advisory. You can get those notifications based on your location, so you can get exactly what you need to know for your town, for your county. So you can stay informed to stay safe. Again, a WVLT First Alert Weather Day on Saturday. I've got a lot more for you in that WVLT First Alert Weather app, and we'll send you messages with new information as it comes in.